Happy people. Happy people. I hope we are all doing well today. Are we doing well today? Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, I wanted to dive back into part two of To Thy Own Self Be True. I I hope that this comes across in a way that's more supportive. I don't want this to be judgmental because everybody has to have the courage to search within oneself to find the authenticity of who we really are. And oftentimes, things that we've learned or that we know about ourselves, we don't like it either. Or we try to change things because it doesn't fit the status quo with somebody. So I wanted to talk about the journey of self-awareness. I'm sorry, the journey of self-awareness and what that entails. Um, First thing is stepping into your living truth is recognizing that you have to know who you are. Stepping into your living truth, you have to recognize and know who you really are. Well, what truth am I talking about? I'm talking about the true self of the inner self of who your mind, your being, your self awareness, your private thoughts, your secret thoughts, who that person really is. And I wanted to encourage you today because a lot of times we perceive things to be wrong. I'm not saying you can't evolve and change in areas to grow, but I'm talking about the core of who you really are. And self awareness, you need to know how to journey down that road. Um, so I'm not talking about who you were told to be. I'm not talking about who you were conditioned to be. I'm not talking about the essence of you, the part of you that exists before life started telling you what you could do and who you could be. That's what I'm talking about. So often and I'm reading what my notes are, so that's why I keep looking down. So often life begins to shape us and begins to fashion us into the mode of who we want to be. You know, you could start off being this sweet, nice, and kind person and end up this bitter person that has a nasty tongue. Life taught you that. Okay. Might not been who you were shaped to be, when you first came into the foundations of the world. How do we get there? The question. How do we get there? How do we start walking in that truth? It starts with honesty, radical, brutal honesty with yourself. Ask yourself, who am I? What do I really want? What do I stand for? And what am I afraid of? See, you got to ask yourself these questions, these hard questions, and begin to answer them authentically before you can actually step into the being of who you are. You have to be willing to ask yourself questions, to dig deep, to dig really deep. And some of us don't like to dig deep because some of us don't want to know the truth about it. But whether it's the good, bad, and ugly, God is fastening and shaping you to be who you are, to bring you to a fortified place of being in purpose. This part is not comfortable. To confront the part of yourself that you've been avoiding is really the first start. Okay? Because here's the truth. You cannot change what you won't face. I said that last week. And you cannot heal what you won't acknowledge. Okay. What does that look like, Jay? Um, it looks like you being real. Some people say, well, Jay, you don't mind uh telling people how you feel. It wasn't always like that. Life shaped me into being that way. And so I had to learn now that I can tell the truth and tell people what I think without trying to hurt them. It doesn't. And so the thing is that when I tell you what I think, that's my opinion about the situation. You don't have to like it. You don't have to even accept it. It's just my opinion. And because you can't alter what I believe, doesn't make your opinion wrong. It's just what I know and what I believe. You get what I'm saying? And so oftentimes we try to change people's opinions. That's witchcraft. Oftentimes they try to get you to change your, that's witchcraft. I know what I know, and I know how to believe. And whatever you believe, hey, we could agree to disagree. I can still love you, but I just, those are the things I've learned to accept about you. Does that make sense? Okay. Embracing your true, embracing true who you truly are requires courage, real courage. It's about standing up and saying, "This is me, flawed and all, strength and weakness, all in the same boat, strength and weakness, the good and the ugly." I'm okay with that. Letting me tell you something you are not going to be okay. Let me tell you that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. You got to be able to own that. You got to be able to own that everybody's not going to like you. You got to be able to own that everybody's not going to want to drink from your cup. And you need to be okay with that. It doesn't make necessarily something wrong. Everybody has a taste bud. And my taste bud, I don't like beets, but some people love them. It's not my taste buds. So you have to be okay with that. You were designed to fit, excuse me, you weren't designed to fit in everyone's mode. Your purpose is not to make everyone comfortable. Your purpose is to show up as your authentic self and live the life you were called to live. I'm going to say it again. I like that. Your purpose is not to fit into everyone's cup. Your purpose is to show up as your authentic self and live the life that you were supposed to live. I'm gonna let you sit there with that for a minute because it's just the truth. Some of us, excuse me, have been hiding for far too long, dimming your light because you're afraid of what people might think. But let me remind you of something. You were created to look like you look. You were created to look like God fashioned you to look. Is this good? Well, I mean, that all depends on how you look at it. You don't have to, I mean, if God created you, He said, "I knew you before the very foundation of the world. I formed you." So it had to be good. You don't need nobody else's validation about who you are because you got the greatest validation of it all. God formed you. He said, before I created you, I knew you. Before I put you in your mom's womb. So that's the validation right there. He created you. Okay? So let's talk about breaking free of the labels, the false labels. Let me tell you something when we talk about this. Something about labels. Labels will box you in. They will suffocate your spirit if you let them. They will suffocate your spirit. Some of you are walking around carrying labels that do not belong to you. You think about it. What labels are you carrying that do not belong to you? Hmm? What labels have someone given you that you took ownership of that doesn't belong to you? Labeled like not good enough. Come on now. Labels of failure, too emotional, not smart enough. And you've been carrying these labels around as if those were valid truths about you. Hmm? Hmm. Here's the truth that you need to know. You are not the label someone else has placed on you. You are much, much more. Okay? If I took the labels that were put on me, I wouldn't be on here talking to you right now. I can promise you that one. I would not be on here talking to you right now. Okay. So I want to empower you. I want to take this moment to empower you, to bring self awareness to you. It is time to break free. It is time to strip off the labels that you do not deserve. You have to redefine yourself, your own self, on your own terms. You are worthy. You are capable. You are enough. You are worth everything that God could have possibly imagined for you. Uh, and you are worth, your worth isn't defined by what others think of you. It's defined by who you know you are, who God fastened you to be. That's your worth. So let's walk in purpose. Let's do it on purpose. Let's do it with all power. Okay. Walking in your truth means walking in your purpose. It means aligning every action with your purpose, every choice, every relationship with with the person you are with the person you are with or you want to be with. Uh, it's creating the methodology of who you desire to be. Come on, who am I talking to? And let me tell you something. It is not always going to be easy. Sometimes walking in your purpose means you must walk and have to walk alone. If they don't celebrate you, they don't need to be walking with you. Okay? But you cannot be afraid of that. You can't be afraid of stepping out of a crowd to walk the path that you are meant to walk on by yourself. Okay? Can't be afraid of that. God is putting something inside of you that the world needs. There is a gift in you, there's a light in you, a purpose in you that is waiting to be released, but the world will never know it until you discover the true authenticity of yourself. God will only operate in truth. And no, no one else can do it but you. Okay? So let me ask you again. Are you living your truth? Are you showing up as a person you were called to be? And if the answer is no, then it's time to do some work. Stop hiding, stop running, and start embracing the fullness of who you are. Your truth is your power. Tap into it. And when you live in that truth, there is nothing that can stop you. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's all about authenticity, authenticity, excuse me. Hard word to pronounce. It's not about perfection, it's all about authenticity. When you live in your truth, the world will see your worth. It is time to be true to you. Time to be true to you. I hope this resonates with somebody. I hope this empowered you. I took this time to write it down because it was given to me in the spirit, and I definitely wanted it to be able to resonate with you. So then that way you would get down to the authenticity, the true meaning of who you are. And that means doing the work. And if you don't know how to do the work, I invite you to tap into Let's Talk Truth with Jay. I have a series of coaching tools, a three-part one that you can actually get involved in. And the way you can get on there is you can go to my website. Let me pull it up there real quickly, and it's up and running now. You can go to my website, and it's www.imjlstone. Click the cast them button or the pre-coaching button. Tell us your story. Tell us what you imagine yourself being and why you're stuck or why you think you're stuck. We'll get our team of coaches or myself out there to you. There's a way you can get it for free. Um, but we want to support you. We want to support you in getting there. We want to support you in getting to your true authenticity. We want to support you in maximizing your full potential, doing it in purpose, doing it on purpose, and doing it with all power. We want to get you there. Okay. And so we commit to doing the work. We commit to doing the work so you can get the work done. Okay. All right. And then if you just are looking for some tools and you say, hey, I just want to get the tools, you can get our book. We got 2 books, and I got another book coming out. I'm so excited about that. We're actually trying to get it sized and ready to go to the print. But these books right here are called The Power to Build a Man. One is a workbook and one is a self-help book. Works for both women and men, but it's so exhilarating for women. And so and then the workbook, it helps you get unstuck, recognizing the pathologies of where you've been stuck at. I want to invite you to, get these tools in your arsenal. And we use the workbook even in our coaching sessions. And so if you'd like to find out more about that, go to the website, www.imjlstone. We can get you plugged in and get those books out there to you. And then if you are just interested in some t-shirts, I got one on now. I wore it out today. It's called Fog Wear for men, favor of God that's pursuing you for men. And we got the I'm fearfully, wonderfully made for women. Listen, grab these tools. It reminds you on day to day who you are. I wore it into one of the gas stations today, getting some gas, and they were like, "Oh, I like that shirt. Where can I get it?" And I'm like, "You can get. They're my shirts, so you can get it from me." And so they ordered one and whatever. I stepped over into getting some pizza for the family and stuff like that. And they were like, "That shirt is nice." And so hey, they're nice quality shirts. They don't shrink. They're durable. They don't fade and stuff like that. So I want to invite you to get those tools so you can remind yourself or remind somebody else that's looking at you, or get it for a gift personally for someone else. They're very inexpensive. We get them out there to you, and whatever color you probably can imagine, we can get it. Okay. So get those things. Okay. I'm out of time. I am J.L. Stone. We're going to do it in purpose. We're going to do it on purpose, and we're going to do it with all power. Listen, would you please like, subscribe, and share this with somebody? I have other videos on YouTube that you see, and we're in the venture of doing, redoing thumbnails and stuff like that to re-put out videos and stuff like that. But I also have the talking, Let's Talk Truth with Jay, that I do with families. There's one of those that we released on YouTube, and that family is doing, some of the people in that family are doing very well, and very moving very forward. I'm so proud of them. And so we would love to get you in our safe, the safe house, or come to you and do a video with you about help and support and walk you through it. Just check it out on YouTube. It's there. Okay. And we're out of time. I made it under 20 minutes. So listen, we're going to do it on purpose. We're going to do it in purpose. We're going to do it all power. Like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, have a blessed day.